We got a hot mic out there.
Tuesday will pour her group.
Okay, 6:30, Friday, September 19th. Welcome in. Another safety focus of the week. This week's code of conduct is to maintain respectful behavior whenever one is working, driving a company vehicle, or wearing the company logo. You're always representing this company. Any words of wisdom for us on this code, Adam, Mr. Dow?
Yes. What people see determines our reputation. It's not always our intent, but it's what they see in our conduct. So let's be professional out there. That's what I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Ben. Appreciate it. So we had a couple close encounters with some hazards this week, but we're able to get through it without another recordable. So excellent job on reporting quickly. We're able to mitigate any further medical treatment with some good on-site first aid and working with our preferred medical providers. With that said, with those close encounters, that means we just need to be vigilant on those work site hazards. So let's continue our best protocols by having a good morning briefing, talking about the hazards and how to mitigate our exposures through the hierarchy of controls. So again, if you have any questions or unsafe conditions that you need help with on your job site, contact Health and Safety. We're more than happy to come out and discuss and try to mitigate as best we can. This is just wanted to hit a quick topic. Doing some site inspections the last couple of weeks. I've seen that we have a lot of just kind of low hanging fruit when it comes to our fire extinguishers kind of being out of date. It's been a while, so like some help in the next couple of weeks to bring in your fire extinguishers. The ones that are the gauges are now out of compliance. They have gone out of the green little dial and into the red, saying that they need service. So let's do those fire extinguishers the next couple of weeks. Help us. We're going to be coming around, grabbing them as we give you out new ones over the next couple of weeks. But again, these fire extinguishers are kind of life-saving devices. If there is a fire on a job site or something happens on a site, these things are going to be very handy to make sure that we have means of egress away from a dangerous situation or potentially put out a smaller fire. Again, most fire extinguishers are just designed to really give you safe egress to a safer location. So again, if you ever do have to use a fire extinguisher, remember PASS, P-A-S-S. Pull the pin while holding the nozzle away from you and release the locking mechanism. Aim low, point the nozzle at the base of the fire, squeeze the lever slowly and evenly, sweep the nozzle from side to side. Those are some quick little fire extinguisher rules, but really want to highlight that we need to make sure our fire extinguishers are indeed inspected and in good working condition. So let's grab this low-hanging fruit and let's get these fire extinguishers into Elliott so we can get them all charged up and operating better on our job site. So again, with the tags, we should all have 2021 to 2022 tags, inspection tags on our fire extinguishers. If you do not, then we are out of compliance. We need to get those back into compliance. Any other further questions, contact Health and Safety. We're here for your assistance and guidance along the way. So that's all I have, Ken. If anything you want to add, feel free. If not, take it away.
Okay, well, important stuff. On personal safety note, as a lot of people know, I have a fishing boat. And on a boat, you don't have the opportunity to step away from the fire. It's not getting out of the fire, it's putting it out. Because there's until help arrives, there's no help. So the fire extinguishers on your boat, if you have a personal boat, and you have this large enough for fire extinguishers, you have to be very careful about maintaining them and keeping an eye on them. And what I actually have is I have 2 of them on board that are very visible too, not just hidden underneath.
Right. Good point.
Okay, I'm going to switch over to my screen. Oops. Sorry. Sharing a window here, had the wrong window. Here we go. This should be the right one. Fire extinguishers, yes. And announcements, no new announcements here today. I guess there's some information coming next week on a discount, employee discount for at Pet Food Warehouse, a small one, 5%, but still at 5% is 5%. So if you are interested, I'll have details next week. New employees, we have Jonathan Jordan and Matt Saganowitz. So welcome back to Matt, and welcome aboard to Jordan. And I've got the primary care health care wellness program link here. So I understand that this is really gaining momentum and getting popular. So if you haven't set yourself up and enrolled in it, then check it out. It's easy to do. It's just probably 1 hour healthcare check at Champlain Medical to get you off and rolling on it. Weather outlook looks good. One thing I forgot to note here is that the first day of fall is like Wednesday. Is that right? Wow. It's moving along. 2021 is like approaching the last quarter. And for the COVID policies, congratulations, Vermont. We're up to 87.1% vaccinated, which is great. And as we heard last week, there's some mandates coming on vaccination. So if you're on the fence, just go out and do it right now. If you're against this, well, you may not be able to avoid it. So gotta think that out a little bit. I think the mandates are probably several weeks away, right, Matt? I mean, this is something that OSHA's got to prepare a
Yes.
regulation or rule, I guess they would call it, which
Yeah.
takes time. So
Yeah, they have to write it first, and then it has to go through comment section. So we're months out. But
yeah,
it's
but
still,
I mean,
like you said before, it's going to happen. So
it's inevitable. Yep.
Yep.
So for projects this week, we're profiling the micro piles and concrete slab for the Vermont Power Supply Authority generating station. They're up in Swanton. So we're contracted with this VP PSA. You might have seen them around. I think they're on 100 too. They've got a sign there in Stowe right near the road. To construct a pile-supported foundation for a new building at their Swanton Peaker power generating facility. And the Peaker is a power plant which utilizes 24 megawatt or 32,000 horsepower General Electric frame 5N diesel power turbines, which are essentially just big jet engines running off diesel. And they provide power to the grid, and it gets its name because a peaking facility is designed to operate only when the peak demand is there, when the normal, less expensive generating power systems are not available or can't perform to meet the needs of, especially like in a hot summer night when you have many homes operating on air conditioning as we were earlier in the summer. Typically, these things only run 50 to 150 hours each year. I wasn't on site when they did it. On one of the hot days, they were expecting to run it, and I think they did. And also, they do test startups like weekly or something like that. It's supposed to be quite the sight, or sound too. So the project has very soft clays overlying competent bedrock, and the existing buildings, turbines, and fuel tanks are all others are on pile-supported foundations. So our project was scoped to micropiles to avoid disturbing the turbines and adjacent control buildings, because you don't want to drive, H piles next to these sensitive pieces of equipment. And we designed the micropiles in-house using hollow bar systems, and our design consisted of 12 73 millimeter outside diameter, 53 millimeter inside diameter hollow bar piles, each installed about 50 feet with a 4-foot rock socket. So the piles are drilled with air flush and grouted after installation. We did one sacrificial pile for a load test at twice the service load, or 100 kips, 100,000 pounds in a tension test. And we used a Soil Mech SM11 fixed mass pile rig upfit with our TE 550 drifter, which is the top hammer drifter from our larger TEI drill. That's an excavator mounted drill. Not only with our JD 230, which is the TEI drill is hooked to, wouldn't fit in there. It just, this other rig provides better verticality for pile installation. So after installation of the piles, ECI formed and poured a 48-foot by 12-foot by 2-foot thick mat foundation supported by these piles for this new modular building. And the foundation is heavily reinforced and received 8.5-inch topping slab to accommodate modular building geometry. A lot of concrete there. So you can see that the turbines are in these green cases, and I think that the gray stacks on top are some of the emission controls. So, you know, these are the size of locomotive engines, really. But they aren't locomotive engines, they're jet engines in there. So the pile layout is pretty standard, 12 piles, just 2 runs of 6. And then a cross section shows the 2-foot mat with this topping slab to go right underneath the building. And then we get some vapor barrier and stone, and then the piles themselves. So this is during the pile load test. And we had a couple of heavy beams to put the reaction out away from the pile, and then there's a load cell and a hollow jack in there, kind of in front of Nate's head, with some dial gauges. Dial gauges are supported off that steel angle from a concrete form angle, supported by the tripod. So it's independent of the loading frame. This is the the vibrating wire strain gauges within the load cell are reading out 100.07 kips on this this photo here. So that's at the peak load. And at the peak load, we had only just a little over 0.8 of an inch of movement. That's including the stretch of the bar. So great results on the load test. There's the rig. It's got a protective cage. So when they're drilling, I think just Dan's in there setting it up. And then when you're drilling, the cage is closed. There's some of the drill steel in the foreground of that picture, and a bit. So the bits are sacrificial bits, hollow bar. You drill down, leave the bar, and they're flushed with air, and then they injected grout after the fact to give it the grout bond to bond the rod to the rock, really is what you're concerned about, but it's grouted all the way up through the clay, and the grout provides corrosion protection there too. So there we are with the cage door closed off drilling. Drifter is the red piece at top, so it's a top hole thing versus down in the ground, down hole hammer. Several of the piles are already installed there. And then they're backfilling. They're 12 inches of stone under the slab, and then they'll cut off the piles. And here's the cage for the slab. You can see the piles at the corner there, one of the piles, and see how close we are to that adjacent building too. And then pouring. And it's trailing off, vibrating. And then the finished base slab with the dowels that go into the topping slab at the later date, which is now done. And then I got from the photo archives, this is the Highgate substation right down the road by about maybe 2 miles, 3 miles or so. This was back in 2005. I don't know why it says MA there. Something got goofed up, but it was, May. It was probably May 2005 5. The Y got dropped on the May. So that's what it was. You can see it is May. It's just barely some green on the trees in the background there. But we're putting in some foundations for the an improvement at the Highgate substation. Way back then, I see John Zeno. Can't tell who else is on the site. Might almost looks like Paul.
Paul
What's
Brunton
Paul's
over
last-
there.
Yeah, on the corner on the
Way
side
to
there.
the left, and I'm sitting on the slab with my field book.
Oh, okay, yep, I see.
I don't know who's with Zeno.
I know. I saw some other photos, and his son Ryan was working for us then.
Oh yeah, yeah, that
That
could be
might
right.
be Ryan.
Yep.
So,
Aaron would know.
Right. Yep.
Cool.
That's what I got. Have a good day out there. Be safe. Enjoy the fall weather as it comes here. So, because colder stuff and snowier stuff is just months away now.
Yeah, like you said, let's get out and enjoy it. Have a safe day,
Yep.
everybody.
All right. See you later.